In this video, we're going to look at the PMT function, one of the more powerful and useful functions in all of Excel. Once again, it's called the PMT function. Now, what's the purpose of the PMT function? We're going to start off in this cell right here, and the purpose is to determine how much money you have to pay back to the bank, usually on a monthly basis. It can also be quarterly, but usually it's on a monthly basis. So we're in this cell here, we're trying to determine this amount. And that amount is based upon how much you borrowed from the bank, in this case $50,000. The second variable, how much interest do you have to pay back to the bank for the use of that money? The third variable, how much time is the bank giving you to pay back the loan? In this case, it's 120 months. Once again, there's three variables: the size of the loan, the interest rate, and lastly, how much time you have to pay back the loan. So we're going to start off in this cell, B5, and we're going to use the PMT function. We begin by clicking on the FX to get our dialog box. We're going to type in PMT here. I've already used it, so it's already been highlighted, PMT. Click OK. We get our dialog box. And our first line has to do with the rate, and it's explained right over here. So the rate, it's all explained here. But what our rate is the interest rate. So I'm going to click on the 4%. And this is a very key part of the formula. I'm going to divide by 12 because I'm going to be making 12 monthly payments. So as a rule, it's usually the interest rate divided by 12 if in fact you're making monthly payments. So that's very important. The interest rate divided by 12. The NPER is the total payments. It's already been calculated out for you. It's 120, which happens to be in cell B3. The PV is the size of the loan, but you want that size of the loan to appear as a positive number. To have it appear as a positive number, you need to first off put in a negative sign. Once again, very important, a negative sign, and then click on the size of the loan, which is in cell B1. So our formula right here is the interest rate, B2 divided by 12. B3 is the total payments, and lastly, minus sign, B1. Click OK. And what this is telling us right here is that we're going to have to pay back the bank $506 per month, 12 months a year, for the next 120 months to pay back what we borrowed. Now, one quick thing here, this is a function, okay? The PMT function is shown up over here, but an easy way to edit any type of function, no matter what, if it's a PMT or an if function, is to click in the cell. We know it's up here. We can edit it from here, but a lot of times it's easiest to then click on the FX. It will give you your box explaining how the function works. So once again, when you're first learning Excel, I recommend that you use that method of editing a function if you made a mistake on it, or if you're questioning what you did. Next, we're going to determine the total payments. Total payments is a function. And the total payments would be basically the monthly payments multiplied by the how many payments you're going to make back to the bank. So it's the $506 multiplied by 120. That's what your total payments are going to be. So it's a function, or rather a formula, equals 506, which is in B5, multiplied by your total payments, or the number of payments that you're making. So it's B5 multiplied by B3. If we ever want to double check our formula, double left click, and it's showing us what we're doing to get that formula. The interest paid is another very easy formula, equal total payments, which happens to be in B6, minus the size of the loan. So B6 minus B1, so it's the total payments minus the size of the loan. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to determine what our average monthly income is. Now, that average monthly income is not showing on this sheet. The average monthly income is going to be actually shown on this sheet over here. This sheet called average monthly income. So we're going to be using the average function, but we're going to be looking at the sheet called average monthly income. So we're in the cell here. We're trying to determine the average monthly income. We're going to go up and get our function average. Excel takes a guess and it says, oh, you want to average from B5 to B8. That's not what we want to do. In order to correct that, our next step is, where is the information for the average monthly income? We're going to click on the average monthly income sheet. That's where our averages are. So we clicked on the average monthly sheet and then highlight these 6 months. So it's telling us here we're going to average in the average monthly income sheet the range B2 to G2, check mark. That is our average monthly income. Next, we're going to determine, using an if function, if we have enough money to pay for this loan. And we're going to use as a condition, if our average monthly income is greater than the payment, then we have enough money. Otherwise, we need to make more money. So, once again, we're going to use an if function. An if function is always composed of 3 arguments. We're going to see them in a second. F of x, if. First argument is always our condition. Second argument, if that condition is true, something happens. And the third argument, if the condition is false, something else happens. Keeping in mind that you always have to fill in all 3 lines. So we've got our if function. Our condition is, if this amount here, our income, B9, is greater than the size of the loan, then we're okay. We're making enough money right now. Otherwise, we need to make more money. Click OK. So in this case, we can see, we have an income of $4,500. We are making more money than the size of our loan. Once again, if you ever need to edit that if function, and it is a function, we're here, shown up here, we can edit it here, but it's much easier if you click on the fx, showing us our 3 lines. B9 is greater than B5. If that's true, it's okay. Otherwise, we need to make more money. Thank you.